Your home for our Atlanta Falcons, Hawks, and Atlanta United. Your teams play here. Sports Radio 92.9, The Game.
We are Dukes and Bell. We start off every day and every hour by saying, hey, man. Glad to have you here listening to Atlanta's number one sports station, its number one sports show. And, guys, we've got a big weekend with the Packers coming to town, Mike, and we will talk about this here over the next 10 minutes because Caden Ellis, you'll get a chance to hear from our starting linebacker and what his expectations are. But here's the thing. Improvement. We won last week. We had to win. We talked about going into week one and starting off the season right. But, Mike, there has to be improvement. And then one area I think everybody wants to see the improvement in is pushing the ball down the field and seeing Desmond Ridder throw the ball more a little bit vertically. But, Mike, you keep saying this. Can we protect them against the Green Bay Packers front seven?
Yeah, I know that it was a really tough day, and it has been historically a tough day against whoever's playing on the offensive line when you go up against Derek Brown and the Panthers. Brian Burns obviously made a statement about his paycheck, and he was balling out. They had no answer for him. But McGarry was noticeable even so much for Mike Wall from the Packers, podcast and their radio to say, yeah, that guy looks like a target we can get after. And they've got Rashawn Gary if he's 100%. They've got a bunch of injuries. We'll get to those in a second. But look, everybody wants – I know what everybody wants. You want 300 yards.
Yep.
You want the vertical passing game. You want to see Drake London going down the field and Pitts. None of that starts if we don't get the guy a pocket. You can't – you've got to give him a pocket. Unless let me ask you this. Do you think – if they look at the tape in Green Bay and what they're doing right now, 4 sacks against Chicago, do we move him around? Are we going to move Ridder around in the pocket?
Well, we didn't see a lot of that, or an attempt, I think, from Art to do that, Coach Art. We could see more rollouts, Mike, naked boots. But the naked boot, guys, only works if you're running the football effectively. Now, if we do that, then we can get him out of the pocket. But you're talking about physically moving the pocket, right. Maybe shifting one way or another and giving him a little bit more time. We'll see if they decide to do any of that.
That's a convenient narrative.
Thank you, Art. But I think also, Mike, that we've got to get the ball back in Bijan's hands. You saw the electric things that he's capable of. 16 touches. I don't know if that's going to be the norm or the average because we still got to find a way to get Drake London involved. And, guys, I think Drake's going to have a big game. Okay? I just do. I think Drake's going to have a big game. But we got to find ways to get Pitts involved. Let me hear Bijan talking about he's enjoying the way that he's being used in this offense.
I felt great about it. I know that they got a plan for me, and I gotta follow that plan the right way. And what Coach Smith and Coach Petrie and Coach Rags have for me. So whatever they have me do, wherever they line me up, I'm gonna give 100%, and I'm gonna try to do my best to use the gifts that I've been given by God and just have fun out there. But I know I'll end up in a lot of spots, and I know that wherever I'm at, I have to be 100% for my teammates, and so they can count on me to do something great with the ball.
Right on. And Coach Rags, Dave Ragone, yeah, man, like no one's doubting. Just get him the ball, and he'll make the first guy miss 100%, if not an average, whatever you want to quantify. He'll make that first guy miss. He's a super athlete. Now, guys, everyone's getting to see it who didn't see it in preseason. But let the man burn, man. Do his thing. 6 and 7 catches, 8 or 9. I like 20 touches for the guy.
I do too.
No matter how you divide it up, on the ground or in the air.
Jesse Bates had an amazing game last week. He talked about how he hopes to start against Green Bay this week.
There's a lot of things, obviously you want to start a little faster. There's a lot of things that you can take from the tape and get better at, but it's a new week, so we're going to have to continue to learn the game plan, brand new week and reset and go 1-0 for the week.
Key for me, Mike, last week Jordan Love was great on 3rd and 4th down. I mentioned this. I think they didn't convert but only 2 attempts on 3rd down against the Bears. If he comes in here and goes, 8 for 10, 7 for 9 on 3rd downs, it's going to be a long day for us because that means they're not getting off the field and they're moving the football and they're probably scoring. We got to find a way to get him down or off the field on 3rd downs coming into this week. He's playing with a lot of confidence, but we mentioned this in an injury update. Some of these guys that we thought might be here might not be here.
Yeah, the big one, of course, for us is Green Bay's version of what we're trying to do with Bijan Robinson. That's Aaron Jones. And for those who didn't see, he had this big run, took it to the house, and then my hammy, all of a sudden they kind of wrapped up on him. So he looks to be listed as questionable. I'm looking at the Packers website, and they're talking about some other dudes getting in there. Rookie Emmanuel Wilson, Patrick Taylor, and then, of course, they've always had A.J. Dillon, who's the other dude that kind of did it, together. But he brings the element of a running back who catches like a wide receiver. You've seen him, with the Packers in the playoffs all these years. Then you got Romeo Doubs with a hamstring. He's a little banged up. There is no official word. It looks like questionable now for Watson, who's also another dude that they drafted who looked like a rock star coming down in the second half of the season. Christian Watson also with a hamstring. Rashawn Gary's dealing with a knee injury. So there's a bunch of dudes that could have a major impact. Rashawn Gary getting after us and us trying to catch those other guys. So not a full complement of weapons, it looks like, or they won't be even close to 100%. For Jordan Love.
Well, and again, we'll take anything. You don't wish for injuries, but hey, if we were injured like we have been over the last few years, nobody's feeling sorry.
Kay Walker, by the way, linebacker, also questionable with a concussion. He's in the concussion protocol. We learned that Troy Anderson tried to practice today, so for him it looked like he was going to make it, and he's out. So Tree's officially ruled out for us. And Okudah, and I'm waiting to see, he's questionable with the foot. We were kind of led to believe he'd be in the game, but maybe not start. Maybe the nickel.
Because he was practicing this week. Caden Ellis, and you'll hear the full interview coming up here on Sports Radio 92.9 The Game. Guys, this hour of Dukes and Bell brought to you by All Four Seasons Garage and Entry Doors. Let me hear Caden Ellis talking about stopping the Packers offense.
It's a team that has changed, but it's still the Packers, and it's still LaFleur over there running stuff. I've gotten to play them back in 20 and 21, in a similar defensive scheme, and really respect what they do, the way they go about their work. I also got to play them preseason last year and, practice against them. We did joint practice with them. So respect their players. Obviously Jordan Love's getting the chance to go out and show what he's capable of, and he had a good game last week. So Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon, they got a good backfield. You know what I mean? And they're going to try to run the ball, set up that play action pass in that boot, and then get going from there. So, I like our game plan. I like how we match up against them, but they're a good team.
They are 1-0. We're 1-0. Love's looking to build on those solid numbers that he had against Chicago, and again threw for 245, 3 touchdowns.
Right. And what are we gonna do about it? We've talked about at times kind of looking a little static. Our first chance to really watch Ryan Nielsen. What does his defense look like? It was basically the 3 or the 4 down linemen just kind of going straight ahead. So more stunts. They got into that later in the game, dialing up some blitzes. We talked about Anderson got in with Grady for one. So Lorenzo Carter got the other, but that's when the game was kind of getting away from the Panthers. They weren't running at all. They became one-dimensional. So are we going to be able to generate heat? We've been telling the listeners this overhaul defense with the free agents is going to step up. Need to see it. And maybe Epicady. How about him? Like to see him have a big impact in this one coming up Sunday.
We are, by the way, for the first time since 2017, which is why I told you guys all offseason we couldn't lose week 1, have a winning record to start the season. Above 500, right? This is what we're talking about. So this game 2, and we talked about this, guys. If you go look at the metrics, you go 2-0 in the NFL, your chances of getting to the playoffs go up dramatically. It doesn't guarantee you anything, but I'd rather be 2-0 than 1-1. And again, you've got a chance at home to do something before going on the road against the Lions, and then, of course, to London, Mike, to take on Jacksonville. So Robinson, by the way, that 21-yard run last week, again, just looked electric, and everybody around the league was talking about it. I expect to see him this week. If they're getting pressure, Mike, maybe we are running more screens and getting the ball to our playmakers a little bit quicker too.
Right.
This week.
We're wearing the throwbacks, guys. We talked about that in Guy Talk. I think last time we wore them last year was the 49ers game, right? We beat those guys, and
that's
they were
right.
banged up.
Yeah.
So let's hope. I know that just 2 things. It's the same stuff we've been talking about all week. Everybody wants all the Madden type stuff and the video game stuff. And look, it's not wrong to ask for that. It doesn't make you like a bad fan to want some. It's what fans want to see. It's what Eagles fans were in their bag last night because they were helped. One of their own players was in his bag last night, A.J. Brown, because they couldn't get the ball in wide open. Hopefully, Drake London can't have 2 clunkers like that, regardless of what the offensive line is doing.
No, and I don't expect him to. Again, I get back to Ritter saying this earlier in the week, and we played it for you guys, where he talked about they just never got into a rhythm. Mike mentioned this. The first play was you held your breath because the ball got tipped, and then he catches it, and you're like, okay, that's how we're starting. Now, we overcame that. But if he completes that pass, right, and then you say, okay, that's 1, and then it starts to build, they just never got in a rhythm. I don't think that'll happen. And Art said this week, too, he felt like that was like just a weird game, and I'm kind of with him. You watch these games, it doesn't matter, over the years, and you go, well, why didn't we or why weren't we able to do some of the things we wanted to do? Sometimes those weird things happen. I don't think that happens back to back. I just don't.
And Cordell Patterson will be active for this game, so see how much he gets in the mix as well. Mac Hollins, I thought he did what we thought he would do, kind of be like the other option, but he actually, Didn't think he had more catches than Drake London that first game.
Yeah, exactly.
So offensive line, basically, McGarry, don't stink. And everybody else continue to, let's just keep it. Like, if we're going to run the ball, you and I said this. Yes, we'd love to see all those skill position dudes doing their thing. But if I could say I go 2-0 and the quarterback throws for less than 300 yards in 2 weeks,
I'm okay.
I'll take it.
I'm okay.
No one's going to like it, and they'll still be belly aching about it, but I'll take it.
404-726-0929. Hey, follow Mike. He's Mike Bell, ATL. I'm at Put 'em Up, C Dukes. And, of course, this radio show is Dukes and Bell 929. Follow the radio station at 929 The Game. Stay up on everything that's going on. It is going to be a big weekend. And, of course, you can watch us on YouTube at 929 The Game, twitch.tv/ATL 929 The Game. Whisper's running our cameras, and you guys can check us out.